Ladies and gentlemen, Sukhi Bart, Mulaqat. Enjoy Mulaqat with Sukhi Bart.
Sat Sri Akal ji, and welcome to Britasia TV, and of course, always welcome to Mulaqat with Sukhi Bart. And I know what you're thinking. I know, Sukhi, ਇੰਨੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਇੰਨੇ ਮਹੀਨੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਪੁੱਤ ਤੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਆ? ਵਾਹ, ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗਾ, ਹੁਣ ਇਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੁੱਖੀ ਤੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਰਿਟਾਇਰ ਹੋ ਜਾ ਹੁਣ. But you know me, ਸੁੱਖੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਟਾਇਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੰਦੇ. As the great Gurdas Mann said, ਨਾ ਰਿਟਾਇਰ ਹੋਣ ਦੀ ਨਾ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀ. So here I am with a great guest, and obviously it gives me great pleasure to bringing you some new talent, some old talent, and some of the talent that you love and you have always adored. And of course we should give new talent a great chance as well. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome my guest. We can see him in action first, and then I'll introduce who he is. So let's check him out in action first.
Mulaqat with Sukhi Bart.
तू खोटा तू छाड़े गई रे काने मोले खोडी साडा पाके तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे झलक मौके लैगी नी तू जान दी ना मेरी बस दिल विच रैगी होएरा कोई ना इलाज जिड़ा रोग गई तू लाके तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे केरे बूटे नालों तोड़ गई नी टाणी छड़ दित्तियां डीका मंगी चक मुगलानी हो जीना सिख लिया हुण दुख सह के असी पारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे तेरे झूठी नहीं लारे
Mulaqat with Sukhi Bart.
There you have it. That was the track Lare, and he's got a brand new track coming out as well. But that's not all. That's to Subaig Singh Kandola. There's more, much more to him. So let's meet the man himself. Subaig, Sat Sri Akal ji, Jianu.
Sat Sri Akal ji.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Not just a singer. Shall I start counting it? I don't think I've got enough fingers for your talents. A comedian.
Yep.
A doctor by profession. A singer.
Yep.
a fighter.
Yes.
MMA fighter, legal fighter, not just a kind of a street fighter as well. So where would you like to start? Because there's so much to you. I don't think we've got enough time today to discuss everything.
Well, probably if my mum was here, she'd say my other talent is being a beefcoof, probably.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
so
you know,
we
it
can
takes
start
talent.
with that.
It takes talent to be a beefcoof. It's not easy being a beefcoof.
It's hard work. Yeah, it takes a lot
And
of
if
practice.
your mom says it, you know she says it with pyar de naal.
Yeah.
Laad de naal.
Well, actually, you know, because I was a breech baby.
Oh,
So
right.
yeah, so you know, she always says, you know, mera munda putha jamya se gate, you know, putha rehna. So yeah, that's probably why you know I've done so many weird and wonderful things.
Yeah, but you haven't. Well, I was going to say you haven't done putte kam because you're a doctor. Every parent's dream, you know, your mummy ji the dream pura kar detta, vakeel, a doctor, you know, and you become a doctor. But apart from that, I suppose when you decided to give up your doctorate for a bit,
Yes.
and to go into your MMA, which is mixed martial arts,
Yes.
is that right?
That's correct,
And we're going to see probably a little clip of you in action as well.
Yes.
Let's start from there, because obviously
Fine.
that's where I know you from.
Yes.
And only the other day I was talking to a couple of my friends, and we were saying, oh, yara munda, you know, jada apna munda larda hunda si, where is he? So tell us how you got into that, the mixed martial arts side of things.
Yeah, sure. Well, mixed martial arts. It started off with just martial arts.
Right.
You know, so I was a child growing up, and my dad was really into martial arts. You know, he was into taekwondo, and obviously, you know, he came from a generation where doing martial arts wasn't a hobby; it was a necessity. You know, he was born and bred in Birmingham, talking 60s, 70s. You know, so he had a big influence on my life. You know, I started off doing taekwondo. And then when I went to university, just got, you know, deeper into other martial arts, you know, the grappling, the Wing Chun and things like that. And it was like an outlet because I was at medical school. Medical school is a stressful place. You know, you're working very hard. You need outlets. You need to do different things. So I would use training as a way to vent my, aggression and things like that.
Right.
And I guess one thing just led to another. Obviously, I'd had quite a few years of martial arts behind me. But at some point, you decide, you know, I want to test this out now. And I want to test my skills out against an equally trained, experienced fighter, you know. So that was, you know, the initial rationale behind it.
Right.
Was to test my skills out. But you know, then you know, when I got in there and I felt you know, the exhilaration of being in a cage with people watching, and then I thought, you know, I really like this and I can do this. You know, and that's when I decided to take it further and do it professionally.
But in the cage, I suppose if you're doing martial arts and you're taking your skill further, when you do your gradings and, you know, you have your semi-contact and you have your full contact, wasn't that enough for you to test your skills? Because obviously, in order for you to get your grading, you had to go through certain katas or performances and to move on to the next belt, I suppose, as far as I know. Wasn't that enough? Why did you have to get into ring? It's quite brutal, actually, if you look at it. And I'm sure if people YouTube you, they can see you in action.
Yeah.
It is a brutal environment.
Yeah,
you know? And I'm sure your mom wasn't happy with that, or your parents weren't happy with that, were they?
You'll be surprised. They were actually pretty supportive. They were actually pretty supportive. Actually, it's quite funny because imagine I'm at an MMA fight and I'm there and I've got my guys supporting me and stuff, and then I've got my mum with a box full of samosa saying, "Oh yeah, thanks for coming everyone," and giving samosa to everyone that's come, you know, or you know the white people and all that upbringing and stuff like that. So you'll be surprised. They were supportive. They had reservations, as you can imagine. It's quite a brutal thing. Giving up medicine. You know, it took a little while for that to sink in, as you can imagine. But I can't complain about my parents not being supportive. You know, they have been very supportive all throughout.
And how are you perceived by the audience? Obviously, because you know, the commentators standing in there saying, Subaig Singh, you know, it's not your usual character that you would see in a ring. You know, maybe we associate with athletics or a lot of, you know, West Indian or black people are into that. But being a Panjabi, being a Sikh, and obviously, you know, you with your dara and everything, how are you perceived by the audience?
Well, there were a lot of Sikh supporters who came to watch,
Right.
and obviously for them it was a big thing to see a Sardar, you know, with Dari and Kes, you know, representing, fighting in the ring. So for them it was, you know, I was overwhelmed by the love and support that I had from them, and from the non-Sikh fans, I was again overwhelmed by the support that I received from them. You know, obviously their interest in me was less because I was a Sikh. Their interest in me was because of my fighting.
Right.
So you know, for them, they were seeing a fighter. So you know, they were fans because of the way I fought or the techniques I used and things like that. So actually, the response was very positive. I didn't have any negative experiences whilst doing MMA. I know some Sikh people have. I've got other colleagues, other friends who've done MMA. My friend Indy Singh, who's an MMA fighter from Coventry, again a Sardar in Sikhi Sarup.
Right.
He's had some negative experiences doing it, but I can honestly say that the response that I've received has been very, very good, very positive.
Do you feel you kind of led the way a little bit into MMA? Are there more of people that we should look out for? Maybe more names that we should look out for in the art itself?
Absolutely. I mean, there always have been lots of Sikhs doing martial arts.
Yeah.
There always have been, obviously from Birmingham's own Cash the Flash.
Yeah.
Not many people have achieved what Cash the Flash have achieved in terms of being a world champion. But we have got a lot of fighters, a lot of talent.
4 times world champion.
4 times world champion.
4 times. That's something, isn't it?
So we've got a lot of. I think the thing that the reason why people felt attracted to me was because they'd not seen perhaps a Sardar with Dari and Case doing it, and perhaps some Sardars felt that they couldn't do it. So perhaps seeing me inspired them to go ahead and give it a go.
And did you get the support from the community that you would hope for? Did that come? I think that's very important, isn't it? To lift up our youngsters or our sportsmen going into there.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
The community was 100% behind me. I was overwhelmed, with attention, with love, people taking interest, people wanting to come and watch me fight. Sometimes it was a little bit too much. The attention was too much for the level at which I was fighting at that. When I was early on, fighting at an early level. So it was unusual for somebody to have that much support.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Subaig, we're going to go to a short break, and I think you're going to teach me a few fighting techniques.
Mulaqat with Sukhi Bart.